So without further ado, check it out.
Gameplay, here we go. Oh no, cinematic. Did you say June 2nd? Not June 30th, it's June 2nd now. What? Crossplay on PC, that's what I'm talking about. We got a PC client, let's go! We can play on PC with the mobile players PC client.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Wyatt here again, and I'm joined now by Adam Fletcher, also known as Pez Radar. He's our community lead for all things Diablo. How's it going, Adam?
Doing great, Wyatt. I'm pretty excited for all the great announcements that we had today for Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal coming to PC along with mobile is huge, and I know the community is going to have a ton of different questions to ask related to this, and I think the biggest one will be, why PC? Why are we bringing Diablo Immortal to PC?
It's always been our goal with Diablo Immortal
to PC, right, guys?
make the Diablo game a AAA experience that could reach as many players as possible.
Like Genshin Impact, Tower of Fantasy, Raid Shadow Legends, all of them have to have PC clients now.
Diablo Immortal is not only our first game built from the ground up for mobile, it's also our biggest and most ambitious Diablo game to date. It's going to have rich social systems. It has deep progression systems that allow players to continually play the game, customize their character, and make their character more powerful over time. As we started to explore how we're going to reach new players and bring new players into the Blizzard family, we knew if our goal is to truly reach as many players as possible, we should be on PC as well. By being on both mobile and PC, we know that everybody will be able to enjoy Diablo Immortal, whether or not you have a phone.
Sounds amazing, Wyatt. I think I'm pretty excited for Diablo Immortal along with a lot of other people. I think the next big question that the community has to ask is, when can they get their hands on Diablo Immortal?
Of course, the eternal when's it coming out? Well, the team's been hard at work, and we're really excited to be able to announce today that we are launching on June 2nd. And later that month in select Asia-Pacific regions.
That's awesome to hear. June is right around the corner. I know people are really excited for the date. I think people are also really excited to hear a little bit more about how the game plays on PC, especially if they've been following the development of the mobile version over the past couple years.
It plays great on PC. And another thing I'm really happy to be able to share is that you have full cross-play and cross-progression. That means you could be playing on PC, and your friends that you're in a party with, they could be on mobile or PC on the platform of their choice. And then, it's super cool to be at home playing on your PC, and then suddenly you realize you need to head out the door, so you just log out, grab your phone, log yourself in, you're right where you left off from, and you can take the game with you on the go.
This isn't a new thing.
That's awesome to hear that I can take Diablo Immortal on the go.
This is standard for big games like this right now.
From the comfort of my own home. I think people will be really excited about that. I know that Diablo Immortal is coming for mobile and uses touchscreen controls. Can you explain to us how the controls will work on PC?
Yeah, absolutely. During our last closed beta, we added controller support for mobile, and players really responded positively, telling us that they loved being able to connect a controller to their phone to play Diablo Immortal. Well, we're adding controller support to the PC version of the game as well, so those controls will feel identical. But not everyone wants to play with a controller, so we'll be adding mouse and keyboard support as well.
That's great to hear. I've personally always enjoyed playing all my Diablo games using mouse and keyboard, so it's great to hear that it's coming to Immortal. How is that experience on Diablo Immortal?
In Diablo Immortal, you can use your basic primary attack as well as movement using the mouse buttons, as players will probably be familiar, using the left and right mouse buttons, and activate your abilities. By default, they're bound to 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the keyboard with a potion on cue. And for the first time ever in a Diablo game, we're also going to support moving using WASD. I really enjoy playing that way. Since Diablo Immortal, if you come from the touchscreen controls, allowed movement and aiming, it's nice to be able to move around with WASD while aiming a skill using the mouse. Feels super natural.
That's amazing to hear. We're getting WASD controls in Diablo. I think people are also going to ask, like, how does the game look on PC?
It looks gorgeous. The thing about our phones these days is our phones actually have very high resolutions. The pixel density on your phone is very high. So we can still run at a great resolution on PC, and the game just looks absolutely
Little
gorgeous.
over a month, man. That's not long at
So
all.
as you mentioned earlier, Diablo Immortal is the biggest Diablo game to date. What can players expect from this title?
Well, whether players choose to play on either mobile or
they gonna
PC,
show us
they'll be
the
getting
cash
the
shop or
latest
just
in
the
the
shop?
Diablo franchise. Now, Diablo Immortal is a huge game. We've got 6 character classes, including some iconic favorites like the Barbarian, the Wizard, the Necromancer. And there's going to be a whole main quest storyline for players to play their way through. This main quest storyline is going to explore 8 different zones throughout Sanctuary. And as you go through, the timeline is set in between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Players are going to meet up with Deckard Cain and try to locate the fragments of the World Stone. Now, if players remember, at the end of Diablo 2, Tyrael had just shattered the corrupted World Stone, and those fragments were scattered all over Sanctuary. And so this is the player's opportunity to assist Deckard Cain in finding those World Stone fragments and destroying them.
So Diablo fans have always loved the loot aspect within the games. What can players expect for Diablo Immortal when it comes to loot?
Well, Diablo Immortal definitely has the familiar monster slaying action that players are familiar with. And when you kill those monsters, you want to see that loot pop out. And players will be able to grab that loot and use it to customize their characters. We've got legendary items that really change up your skills, as well as set items that confer additional bonuses to how your character plays. Now, during closed beta, we did get some feedback on our items as well as the general gameplay, and we have even more improvements planned, and we'll have more details to reveal about that as we get closer to launch.
I'm super stoked to hear about all the news coming for Diablo
Right,
Immortal
how they
and the
monetize
release
it.
date. Did you have any final closing thoughts for the community here today?
Well, it's a very exciting time. I'm very happy to be able to announce our launch date on June 2nd. And on behalf of the entire team,
No more
I want to
gameplay?
thank everyone who's been supporting and showing their enthusiasm for Diablo Immortal. We can't wait to get the game into your hands. Now, our street date is June 2nd, but if you haven't yet already, just a reminder that you can pre-register for the game. It's going to be out on both iOS and Android, and of course now, PC.
Thanks again, Wyatt, for all the information, and thanks to everyone for tuning in today. For more information on Diablo Immortal, make sure to follow us on social media and to check out DiabloImmortal.com. We'll see you in Westmarch.
All right, good news. Everything, good news. We didn't get to see the shop. We didn't get to see skill trees. We didn't get to see a lot of combat, but I think what they gave us was great. We're only a little over a month away. June 2nd, because if you look in your store, your app store, it shows June 30th. So they brought it up 28 days. That is great. Should I start doing Diablo Immortal on my Raid Shadow Legends YouTube, or should I start a separate Diablo Immortal YouTube channel? I just wonder. You know? What do you guys think? Because there's going to be a lot of us raiders playing Diablo Immortal. And I could still throw in some raid news there every once in a while. You should start saving money. Stay with Ace channel? No. We'll stay with the Ace channel. But I'm saying on my, my Ace channel is totally separate from my Raid Shadow Legends channel. I have 2 YouTube channels, right? So my Raid one is this one. And this one has 70,000 subscribers, and it's got the most people on it, right? So my Awakened Chaos area can stay the way it is, and then I can make this StewGaming, take away this Raid Shadow Legends part right here, and just kind of do what I want to do and have fun and enjoy playing games. And then on my Ace channel, I can do Awakened Chaos Era and Dislight over there, right? 2 turn-based gacha games with variable stat farming. And then here, every once in a while, I can do something. I mean, if Raid really changes and does some awesome stuff, I could change. I just kind of want to do Raid and I want to do something else. So I either need a 3rd channel or I need to do it here on this channel. Because there's only so many games. You can't really, unless you're going to be like an FG 3000 and do first impressions, you can't. It's hard to be one of those gaming channels that just cover all games. It's really best to be exclusive with one game. You'll get the best views from that. So it's not good normally to mix match a whole bunch of different games, especially not different types of games as well, because Diablo is totally different from Raid, but I do believe a lot of the Raid community, of course, are going to play it because the graphic-wise, they'll be playing it. Isn't the metric better for having a separate channel? Yeah, always. Either way, you should get on it for sure. Yeah. What's up, Thane? It is. It's always better to do it on its own channel, which means it like full-time, right? Full-time on Diablo on this channel. Take this one to Diablo. Yeah, I think so. I think I should take this Diablo because honestly, Raid, I don't know. Raid is fun. Raid is great, but I feel like Raid is just the same stuff. You know, we've been covering Raid for 3 years. I just want to get into something else that have more passion for, that I really enjoy playing. And whether that's Diablo for 6 months, and then after Diablo, I want to take this channel somewhere else. But if I really do love Diablo, then I'll make a third channel and take that, you know, whatever else I play somewhere else. I just need to make a third channel. I think if I had a third channel going on, it would be much easier. Because my Awaken channel is almost at 10K now. So it's really cool to see progression with your YouTube channels. And Ace is doing well. I mean, this game is doing great. It really is. And it's new, it's fresh, and they update and listen to the player base like no other company I've covered before for myself.